What's up, you guys? Like a Boss here again. I'm going to be doing something a little different today. Going to be doing a deck profile for a Yu-Gi-Oh deck. I went to a regional on the 13th and ended up placing 17th, so I went X2 in the event, really close to top 8. I lost in the final round at the third table. I braked a couple times, but I'll show you. It's a really cool deck, and I don't think you have ever seen it before. So here we go. Alrighty, here we go, you guys. I got the deck profile for you. It's an original deck. I made it myself. Been working on it for quite some time. You know, updating it as new cards come out, and I think you'll really enjoy it. It's got some crazy combos. It's a Herald of Perfection deck, and yeah, let's get right into it. So first of all, you have 3 Herald of Perfection. Definitely staple, obviously. Its deck revolves around it. Alrighty, and then you're gonna have 3 Cyber Angel Ben 10. Huge, super important card. Search for everything that you need. Alrighty, and then you actually have I played 1 Idaten as well, or Idaten. It goes really well with some combos that come up later that I'll show you. And it searches out a spell when it's ritual summoned, in case you didn't know. And it actually does boost the attack and defense, and that comes in handy when you tribute it off to make Herald like 38 defense or 28 attack. Won me actually 2 games or so. Alrighty, and then next, the best card in the deck, 3 Venus. Just ridiculous card. 1 card, you know, Borreload, Boral Sword, Saryuja. Ridiculous card and super crazy combo enabler, obviously. You can shuffle back into Shine Balls with a card that's searchable in this deck. So pretty crazy. Definitely deck revolves around it. Obviously 3 Shine Balls that go with it. And then this card, which is a ridiculous card. It's actually, so it's a new incantation ritual, not really too new, but you basically discard it, or you reveal it and discard a card from your hand, either it or a different card, and you summon an incantation from your deck. So it's basically like a Manju that you don't have to normal summon. So definitely pretty crazy, and it's a huge combo enabler as well. And then I play 1 of each of the incantations. You don't need to play more than that, in my opinion. It gets really cloggy actually if you play more. You don't actually want to use their summon effect from hand that often in this deck, because you do really want to go into your extra deck, and so having 2 on the field kind of becomes a problem. You'd rather summon them from your deck with the ritual monster or the ritual spell that they have, and then you can basically, you know, trade them off into this guy, and then this guy's level 6, and you can tribute him off the field. So definitely these 2 are the best ones, obviously, and these 2 are okay. I sided them out quite a bit actually for some better side cards, but they add some consistency and stuff, and you can use them to get to these guys. Alright, next, ridiculous card. Wins most games. You just play it against most decks and they scoop. So definitely an insane card. And it's searchable, so just 1 obviously is fine. You don't actually really want to draw it. You just search it at the end of your combos. So, all right, on to spells now. 3 prep, obvious ridiculous card in every ritual deck. 3 pre-prep, obvious ridiculous card in every ritual deck, or most ritual decks. It basically, you can only add Dawn of the Herald and Herald of Perfection with this card, because it has to be the specific monster that goes with the ritual spell. But that's still good. You search basically a +1 and tutor for the super important cards in your deck, so pretty good. All right, and then 3 Dawn of the Herald. Obvious, you just need it to summon Herald, so, and it's really good with, you know, obviously Ben 10, tribute, search for, you know, Venus or Christia if you're at the end of the combo, remove it, get back Ben 10. Definitely ridiculous ritual card. 3 Call by the Grave. This card is super needed. It's a combo deck, and hand traps are rampant everywhere, so of course you need 3 Call by the Grave. It's also really good just card in general. If they don't have a hand trap, you can just set it or shuffle back in with Saryuja, and it's still pretty good. So we play 2 of the field spell and then 2 of the terraforming. Basically, this field spell lets you discard a spell, search for any light ritual monster or any ritual spell period, which is really good. It's really vulnerable to basically, you know, most hand traps, you know, Ash, Ogre, just most things. Droll and Lock obviously is really good against this deck in general. But yeah, but it's good because it tutors for basically anything in your deck, and you can revive Venus with its second effect by shuffling back in spells from your graveyard into your deck, and then bring back Venus if you need to after shuffling back in Shine Balls. So, good card. Alrighty, and then the one-ofs here. One of the incantation ritual spell. It's actually not that important in the deck in terms of like you want to always see it or anything. It's actually kind of dead to draw sometimes, not always, unless you can get it in the grave. But it is part of a lot of combos where you search it out either with the field spell, or you can discard it off the field spell, or you search it off with the incantation, this one here, and then you just keep going with different combos. So still important to have one. Alrighty, and then Upstart Goblin, basically just send through the deck. It's the 40th card, makes your deck 39 cards instead. Side it out when time's coming up. This deck doesn't go into time too often, because usually you put out a first turn board and then they'll scoop or try and play around it for like a turn or two, but then just die. So, but yeah, still side it out during time. Alrighty, and then last card of the main deck. This is the Machine Angel Absolute Ritual. This is the card that shuffles back in your Shine Balls. It's basically a ritual spell for the Cyber Angels. So you use it to summon any one of these four. And instead of tributing monsters on the field or in your hand like a normal ritual summon, you basically get to shuffle back in warrior monsters or light, I think it's light fairy, or just fairy monsters in general. Shuffle back in fairy monsters equal to the levels of the monster you want to summon, and then you summon it. So these are level 6, 3 Shine Balls, 2, 4, 6. Shuffle them back in, really, really good. Searchable. You can draw it and that's fine, but you don't want to draw it in general. It's one of the not as good cards to just straight up draw. But you can search it with, field spell, incantations. If you summon this one, you search it during a combo, so definitely just one is fine. Alrighty, on to the extra deck. This deck can put out most extra deck monsters, most generic really good link monsters, so definitely have some staples in here. So we have 3 Link Spider, that's for the Shine Balls obviously. Now you think of this as kind of like a World Chalice type deck with like some of the crazy combos and stuff. The benefit of this deck is everything is searchable. So Venus is searchable, so is Christia, and you have 4 fairies in the grave at the end of some combos, so you definitely can just summon Christia off its effect, or off YUGIOH definitely, but it's more consistent in my opinion. Alright, and then you 3 Imdik. Extra deck space at one point was pretty tight, but I actually kind of changed it up a little bit and was able to fit in another one of this. It's just your fodder for your bigger guys to make YUGIOHs basically. 1 binary sorceress. You can play Proxy Dragon as well. It just has 200 more attack, and it's basically just for the left and right arrows. It's part of quite a few of the combos. Alright, and then Ib and an Ngirsu. Basically, you'll end with these with some of the combos that you do. Yeah, so definitely pretty good. Lockdown, this non-targeting, non-destruction removal, and you get to draw 2 to 3 cards depending. But yeah, definitely good cards there. And then play 2 YUGIOH. I had a third one in, but I decided to take it out because the third one came up less often than another card that's left in this extra deck here that I included. So you can play 3, you can make 3 in this deck. I put in 2. It's a ridiculous card. Probably get banned or put to 1 at least, I guess, at some point, maybe the next list. Borlo Dragon, ridiculous card, outs lots of different things. And then Boral Sword Dragon, you just kill people, so. Alrighty, and then the last couple cards here are actually 2 M7s. So this is rank 6 Exceed. I don't know if a lot of people, depending on how long ago you played, you remember this card. So it actually came up where I needed 2 of them at one point. One of them is important in one of the kind of bread and butter combos, but the second one came up as well more often than the third YUGIOH did. So that's why I included a second one. It's really good because you basically don't change your fairy count in grave when you use him. You use one of your, or 2 of your rituals, and you get back one to your hand, which a lot of times they're better in your hand than on the field because of Herald of Perfection being able to negate everything by discarding a fairy. So you can add one back with that. Alright, so that's the extra deck, and then the side deck here. Alright, so I played some kaijus here. Basically, these are all for a couple different matchups, mainly for Sky Striker, but also going second against a few different things. They're still good. This deck you don't really want to side too much in at once because it is a combo deck. So I usually maximum put in like 4 to 8 cards, but usually 6 kind of max. 8 is really kind of pushing it. So definitely put in usually like 4 to 6 cards. Sometimes you don't put any cards in, just depending on if you're going first or not. Alrighty, and I'd actually I would cut one of the slumbers. It's a really good card, but I actually kind of like the kaijus more. Just because this can be, you know, negated, or the destruction can be stopped, and it's not as good as just straight up tributing their problem monster, even though it's a really, really good card, obviously. But just kind of using the kaiju to tribute their monster is usually better, and then you just go off and kill them with Boral Sword. But so I would take one of those out for a third evenly matched. I only had 2, so speaking of that, 2 evenly matched. I put in a third one of this. I saw it once and it was really good. It's really good against Sky Striker, Solomon Gray, anything like that going second. Yeah, definitely just an insane card, and it's still good in this deck as well. Just because you only need to side in a couple of these, and if you draw it, it can be, you know, game breaking, especially against Sky Striker for sure. Alright, and then I sided in actually 3 Gammas and the driver, obviously. The reason that this is in the side deck, it is a hand trap. This deck doesn't really play hand traps too much because it's a combo deck, so it's really hard to have those dead cards in your hand if you're going first. Because the ritual summon, you need, you know, 2 to 3 cards usually to make anything happen, unless you draw Venus. So, but with this card, when going first after siding in, usually people will side in either, you know, more Ash Blossoms, usually they'll be maining those, but more hand traps basically, including sometimes Droll and Lockbird, which I didn't really run into too much. And you know, you have 3 Call by the Graves, and if you have this card going first and they hand trap you, you need to not have any monsters on the field, which is usually fine, because what you do is you use pre-preparation of rights, or prep, or the field spell, or even, you know, Upstart Goblin, and everything else, and they'll basically, you know, try and negate that with like an Ash, or on Resolution they can try and Droll you, although I've seen Droll being less popular. But so once they try and do that, you can actually just use this, negate their Ash, summon out the driver, and then you can use these 2 to actually link and combo with as well. So it's just anti-hand trap negation, basically, just trying to get rid of the hand traps to stop your combos. But you can play through Ash quite a few times depending on your hand, but a lot of times I had to play through Ash. I swear they always had the Ash whenever I was going first, so, and I had to play around it, but I ended up doing pretty well. So last card, 3 red Reboot. This is mainly for the Solomon Great matchup. When you go second, you side it in, also against Ultrageist, which didn't come up for me, but definitely just a really good card. I had 2 of these at one point against the Solomon Great player, and he tried to activate, you know, one of his traps, the Fire Lake one, the one that destroys Rage, I believe, and I negated it, and then he used his Roar to try and negate this, and then I negated the Roar with the second one that I had in hand, and then I killed him with Boral Sword. So definitely just a really good card to stop those traps, and basically just try and kill them that turn. Alright, so that's the deck. Gonna do some gameplay of the Herald deck for you, so you can see some combos and kind of see how it works, and let's jump right into it. We don't want to draw this card, but we'll see. Sky Striker. Pretty tough matchup going second, to be honest, but I think in general that's the case. Doesn't seem like his start is super great though. Okay, let's start with a Ritual Sanctuary here. Go here. Okay, sounds good. Now we need a Ben 10. Okay, and then we'll try pre-prep. We're gonna try and search for a Venus here. If not, we do have a follow-up play with the incantation. Okay, I don't know what he'd use to really negate that type of stuff though. They don't really have that. Okay. Now they do have effect negation with like Widow Anchor, so they can negate the Venus at times, but it should be fine for us because we can follow up with incantation. Okay, Ben 10, Chainlink 1, gone, Chainlink 2. You want to do that to hide Ash. He would have already used it if he had it, but just in general. Okay, now we got our Venus. He'll probably Widow Anchor this, but it should be okay. We still should be able to do quite a bit here. We could have put this in attack and maybe attack the game. We still might be able to, depending on what we draw from YUGIOH. Now we can negate a Widow Anchor with Herald. That's kind of the benefit of getting Herald on the field first. He does have 3 spells engraved. And he has to go. Cool. Well, so what we would have done is, now that we're here, we might as well. We could have negated a Widow Anchor, but let's just kind of play it out here. So we would go 3 Shine Balls. Now we can go YUGIOH in this situation, which is still really good. We only have 2 spells engraved, so I'm tempted to keep the Venus and hope to draw something to keep going. I mean, we could go into this, but really, I don't think we need to do that. We could just go into YUGIOH like normal, see what we draw. Because if we get another spell engraved, we can revive the Venus. Okay, so normal plays here. YUGIOH, put it over here. Draw 4. This card is insane. 2, 3, 4. We have a Dawn engraved. We're obviously keeping the prep. We don't really need another Herald, so that can kind of go to the bottom of the deck. Okay. I like to have another Dawn just in case. We don't really need this guy. We can put him to the bottom of the deck. Is there a way to... There's not going to be a way to search for the spell here, so we can't really use this. We could have used a thing to search for it with the incantation, but then we couldn't get that off the field. So right now we will probably just get a bunch of things on board. We could probably kill him depending on how it goes here. So let's see. Oh, we need to put one more back. We can put back the Christia. So what we can do here actually, we would basically go for a Dawn of the Herald. Oh, sorry, not Dawn of the Herald. Prep. Search back for the Herald that we put on the bottom. Grab back Dawn. Put the Prep to Grave. Activate. Attributing Benton. Summon Herald. We'll put it over here in attack mode. Chain link 1 and 2 again, same thing. Banish to hand. Now we search back out for the Christia. There we go. And we can keep one defense because we're going to have plenty damage to win here. Alright, so now we can go for another Herald. And this time we'll tribute the Idaten, Chainlink 1, 2 again. Banish, add it back to hand. So it's kind of nice with Dawn because you basically never have to go above the 4 fairy count because you just keep adding stuff back. And then now we'll special summon this in attack mode. This whole time we had basically 1 extra negate in hand. I like to add Shine Ball back to hand. Venus in Grave we can just revive with Ritual Sanctuary once we get another spell in there. And then we can at least special summon 1 Shine Ball off it, so I like to do that. So this would be down. Alright, and then basically would make him take... These are all boosted by 1000 attack and defense, so these would be at 31. So definitely just plenty of damage. 3 negates, pretty good. I usually pick Rock, I don't know why. I should probably not do that, but that's okay. Do the same one every single time. Alright, so... pretty good hand, to be honest. We don't really necessarily need a Bookstone in hand right now, but that's alright. I kind of want to just use Upstart and see what happens. Okay, looks good. Interesting. Okay, so now we kind of want to use a pre-prep. Now we could just go straight into Chalice Slime. I think I'm actually going to do that. So we'll go Chalice Slime effect because we do want to search out the spell. We could also use Ritual Sanctuary, discarding this spell, searching out. I think we'll do that actually. So we'll go pre-prep first. It's unfortunate because, you know, he could ash this here. Okay, seems good. So let's go to hand. Hand. Okay, and now we'll go for Ritual Sanctuary. So the thing is, you can add 1 light ritual or 1 ritual spell from your deck to your hand. It can be any ritual spell. It doesn't have to be for a light or anything. So we basically can search out the incantation spell. Okay, and now we search that out. Add it to hand. Alright, and then we'll use Chalice Slime effect. And we're going to discard the incantation spell to special summon from the deck. We start with the level 4 guy who searches for the ritual spell. Use his effect. And now we're going to search for this one here. Right. And then Grave. Alright, and now we get out this guy here. Special summon and defense. Uses effect. Effect. Searches for Idaten here. Alrighty, and we still need... We discarded a Dawn, so we actually don't need the... We'll do a Benten anyways, just because that one's better to have. He would have already used a hand trap on us, but... Oops. Ritual spell adds back. I always forget about that. I was like, wait a second, I'm missing a card. Alright, there we go. Alright, and then we'll activate a prep. Now we want the Idatin to hand, and we'll add back the Dawn to hand. There we go. So right now we're doing incredibly well. Alright, and then we're going to activate this, because we got to get this off the field here. We're going to tribute for a Ben 10. Okay, and now we're going to use Dawn of the Herald, tributing Ben 10. So we'll do Ben 10 1, Dawn 2. So just banish this, add this back to hand. It looks like he doesn't have any hand traps, so good start for us. That means we can go off completely, and we're going to search for the Venus, and this comes out. So she's already summoned that. That's okay. We'll put it here. All right, and then the hold on. Okay. We'll give him a face. Alright. There we go. So, effect. We'll play this out super slow for him now. And we'll wait. We'll hit him with one of these. Passive aggressive. Maybe he'll leave and we can just play out the turn in peace without him being obnoxious. He might just leave. I'm just gonna finish it. If I hadn't, I figured. Alright, whatever. We're just gonna assume he has no answer now, and he can yell at us if we need to. If he needs to. Alright, so here we go. Link Spider up top, and then we'll go these two to grave. Binary. Where is that at? There it is. Alrighty, and then we're going to activate to special summon from the hand, using that to shuffle back in the shine balls. 2 top of the deck, 2 top of the deck, 2 top of the deck. Perfect. Shuffle. 10 effect. So we can actually add this back to hand here. We don't have to, but it's actually pretty decent too. Alright, because this can actually add from the graveyard or from the deck. Alright, so if you don't do that and you just want to search a Dawn, you can do that as well, but either way, it's fine. We want to keep going though, just for fun. Alright, so we'll go here, effect, want to detach. Add this back to hand, and then we use Venus again. 2 more times, so we'll take 1,000. Alright, and then these 2 here for Ib. Where are you at? There's the Ib, and then to grave. For an Indic here and here. Alright, last shine ball. Link Spider. And this is fine to do here. We'll draw 3. Okay, we already used a pre-prep this turn and Child Slime. That's alright though. So now we'll actually use this again. Special summon attack mode. I'm surprised he's still here. I mean, this guy is, he's definitely got some patience. I mean, I would have quit. Good night. Alright, and then view, add the Dawn. Okay. Alright, so now we'll use 1, 2. So the issue with adding that is you're not able to basically keep Ib on the field. So that's the problem. So that's alright though. So we'll just go 2 grave, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you get an extra card out of it, but you lose an Ib. So it's like, for drawing 3, you didn't have to draw 3 with the Imdic, but with the second Imdic. All good though. 2, 3, 4. 2 bottom of the deck. 2 bottom of the deck. And we'll also put this at the bottom of the deck, because we're going to have all our Dawns, so didn't really matter what we did there. But now we will use Ritual Sanctuary. So we'll go 1, 2, sure. And now we'll special summon back the Venus over here. Alright, we'll pay 2 more times. Let's see here, we should have 1 engrave. No, we're gonna have 2 engrave. Alright, so we'll go effect for 500. So a special 1. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. You can summon another one. It depends on if you have 1 engrave from before, or if you added back the other stuff, but it's not a big deal. So we'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll go for another YUGIOH up here. 1. See, now this is just like a little excessive, but it's fine. So we'll go bottom of the deck. Alright, bottom of the deck. And we don't need another one of these, so we'll go bottom of the deck there. Alright, and then we'll activate this here. Special summon, tribute, banish to hand, view. Do we have that many fairies left? Yes, we do. We'll add another herald. Okay, and then we're gonna actually prep again, why not? Add another Benten, I guess. It's a fairy for a negate. So as you can see, with no hand traps and stuff, and like, you know, we can definitely get pretty out of control here. So let's just summon another herald, why don't we? Just for fun. You don't actually lose any negates, so you might as well just do it. You use some more resources, but I think it should be fine. I think we're gonna be all right. So we'll view, and we'll add another Venus to hand, just cause. Alrighty, and then we'll special summon. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll add the. Yep, and he quit. So we'll add the Shine Ball back to hand. I'm surprised he stayed that long. So, but yeah, as you can see, it gets pretty ridiculous. So we have a couple of Call by the Grave sets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 negates. So that's kind of like one of the bigger combos and stuff. And again, you can keep the Ib on the field. You basically just lose out on one draw, which didn't really make a difference there. You lose out on one draw, but you keep the IB, which I think usually keeping the IB is better, but I was just trying to go crazy, so. Alright, here we go. Alright, so not the best hand, but not too bad. We started with a Venus, so that's good. And we'll start with that. So in this circumstance, this isn't the best in terms of what we can do. If he was to negate that, we could search out a Ben 10 by summoning this and the other one, and then just go into a Herald and double tribute for Christia, which is okay. Or we can't double tribute actually because we summoned the Venus, so that would have been pretty bad. And that happens sometimes. But nature of the beast, I guess. So we'll do another 500, and then we'll do one more. He would tell me if he has any from hand. Alright, and then we'll shuffle this. Should have already auto shuffled, but alright, so right here we're just gonna go straight into YUGIOH. We don't have like a super crazy, you know, ultra combo. We could draw some good stuff off this, but right now we'll just do this. Kind of like a mediocre hand. We open the shine ball, so alright. Ash would be pretty good here. Nope. 3, 4. Okay, interesting. We actually have a pretty good set of combo strings there, and we have the field spell, so we don't need this in hand. We were going to use that, but now we don't. So 1, 2. Let's see. 2, and then we'll go for a third. This is gonna be interesting. Let's risk it. Right here, you wouldn't have to put necessarily this back, but we'll see how this goes. So let's go for a Ritual Sanctuary. Usually, if I was playing in like the tournament or like regionals or something, I would just keep my multiple Dawns and then discard one, search a Ben 10, go into Christia and Herald there. So recommended, but I'm trying to show some cool stuff. So let's see what we can do with this. So let's add this to hand, and then we'll go Child Slime effect. Discard this. We're only gonna have, no, we should have, okay, we should be good. Should be able to do some stuff, depending. Alright, special summon defense mode. Now again, we have the option to just search out a Dawn of the Herald and a other one here, but we're not going to because that's not cool enough. So let's add this to hand. Okay, so we'll get rid of this. Once we add that back, then we'll basically have, maybe I should have, we'll see how it goes here. So we should basically add this to hand. Okay, there we go. Alright, and then this goes back to my hand. We'll use that to summon a Herald. So we'll go here. 2 Graves, summon Herald. Alright, and then we have 2 spells in grave, and now we can use this. special summon this gal here. So we'll go to top of deck. To top deck. So yeah, this, I mean, this is a little more reckless, to be honest. But I mean, it's something you're able to do, and why not, try it out for the fans here. All right, we'll do I to 10 effects, and we're just gonna add this back to hand here. And you can do this because it once it resolves, it'll go to grave. Chain is all finished out and everything, and so this can grab this back. Well, if we grab that back from grave, actually we can't. We can't do the thing, so we'll just search for another Dawn. I was gonna say, wait a second, if I had like a terraforming in there, an upstart or pre-prep or prep or something, it would be fine, but hence we can't. Alright, field spell. It would have been nicer just to put in a Herald on the board and a Christia, just to save this guy some time, but what are you gonna do? Alright, we'll special summon this. And we'll go for, let's see here. So we need to go defense mode. Defense mode. Alright. So that's 1,000. Okay, and then we have the option here. Let's see. We kind of want to go for a M7, so we'll go for an M7. We'll put it right here. Okay, and then we will do Venus one more time. Okay, and then we are going to put this to grave and put it here. Alright, put this to grave. Put that, where's that? So we're just going into another Saryuja. We're just trying to draw a little more, shuffle back in this Chalice line, which is kind of useless right now. Saryuja's broken, dude. Alright. Effect. We still have this effect as well, so we can get back a Herald if we need. 3, 4. Not super great draws until we drew the prep, so this will go, so we'll go Chalice Line, bottom of the deck. This one, bottom of the deck. And we'll put a Call by the Grave on the bottom as well. It's okay to have, but I'd rather have another negate there. Alrighty, and then we will effect to detach Herald, and then add back the Herald. There we go. So I think out of this overall, what did we get? Like one extra negate, another Saryuja, and a M7. So it paid off this time, and most of the time it will. It's just about the timing of it, and usually you win anyways just by going Herald, Christia, Saryuja. But in this case it definitely paid off. I think I want to get Christia up to, or maybe I think I'm going to get Herald up to higher defense with the Saryuja buff, because they shouldn't be able to get rid of my Christia when my Herald's on the field. I think I usually do that the other way around, but it's not a big deal. Alright, so we'll put this to graveyard. Now that I think about it, what are they going to summon? What are they going to normal summon that's bigger than Christia, right? So, alright, to hand. Alrighty, and then we'll just special summon it. So we have 4 on grave. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll add back a Shine Ball to the hand, and then we will pass. Alright, so we kept this guy the whole time, so he's still here. Usually that doesn't happen. Online, at least. I don't think he's actually here. He hasn't accepted his turn yet. Maybe he's still reading cards? Hello? Okay. That's fine. We don't negate anything that doesn't disrupt our Christia, basically, or our Herald. So he might be Sky Striker, which this board's pretty good against in general. So we just, basically we would negate. Interesting. Basically we would negate the one that pops the card to stop us from responding. The continue spell, whatever it's called, multi-roll. We would negate that, definitely. We would negate Afterburner, the one that pops our monster, obviously. Which one is this? Two opponents grave, banish that monster, or if you have 3 more spells in your graveyard, you can special that monster to your field instead. Okay. What do you want to banish, homie? That's fine. Oh no! What is this card thing? I don't actually know what that does. You control no you can... As many as possible with less than 2, then if you set at least 1 card to the graveyard and have 3 more spells in your, you can shuffle all your opponent's monsters from the extra monster zones into the deck. Alright, and we continue. Took a minute. There's no reason for me to negate all this stuff, so... Now I think he's reading Christie for the first time. There you go, true. Also, I don't even think it ends up being in the field spell zone because I'm negating the activation, so it never even fully envelops the field, basically, I believe so. In the comments, let me know if that's true. I'm pretty sure that's true, though. Negate the activation of it, so. I'm gonna set a monster. Alright, that's fine. Sure, we'll activate this. We just want to get another monster in hand here. Now I'm just kind of showing off a little bit. And we'll go for this one because we can use him with both things. So we'll go. This is probably like a hand trap or something, so this would be 28, 28, so that'd be 56, and then 76, 83, so that's plenty of damage. So we'll go into the battle phase, and we'll attack. Oh, he entered it in chat instead of in the thing. Is it permanent, right? Oh, it is permanent, right? Based on the number of monsters used. If monsters normal, monster gains turn attack. Yeah, it's permanent. All good though. Alrighty, you guys. Well, that gives you a little look into it. Let me know if you want more games like this, or if you want to see more of my original decks that I play. I have a bunch of different ones. I'm going to be posting some more Hearthstone videos as well, in case you're interested in that. anyways, yeah, so it's been a pleasure making this video for you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.